So today I'll be talking about the end of Show Your Work by Austin Kleon, Noise and Morphogenesis by Miguel Prado, The Aims of Education by Alfred North Whitehead, and The Fifth Hammer by Daniel Heller-Rosen. So let's get started. I started with section 10, Sticking Around, which seems appropriate enough for my little break, not to mention that I finished this book about a month ago at this point, but no matter. The next section, appropriately enough for this, is Chain Smoke, which is specifically about this little technique. Ernest Hemingway would stop in the middle of a sentence at the end of his day's work so he knew where to start in the morning. I've tried this, and it does work. At the end of the book are some quite cool diagrams that map out the entire book. In closing, in the spirit of my bookmongering format, I'll just share this Books Are Made Out of Books page with a cover of every book the author found inspiring. Now on to something completely different. So let's talk about Noise and Morphogenesis by Miguel Ramon Prado Casanova. Holy crap, this dissertation. I'm pretty sure I found this book by looking for people weird enough to mention both
Gilbert Simondon
and Gotthard Günther, which didn't disappoint. He begins with the story of Carl Jansky of Bell Labs discovering an unaccountable hiss in radio transmissions while attempting to maximize the signal-to-noise ratio, an extraterrestrial noise that inaugurated radio astronomy and revolutionized our ideas of the universe, which would lead to the discovery of cosmic microwave background radiation in 1964 by way of Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, also of Bell Labs. Prado writes, if order and life counter chaos, they are nevertheless conceived from it. This is the aporia, which is to say the irresolvable internal contradiction, not only in the noisy perturbation in our antennas, but in the very cosmological perturbation as such. For what is the universe but an endless self-reproducing, chaotic process in which force is thrust back and forth with abrasive efficiency? Gravity binds together hundreds of galaxies as if they were silk gauzes moved by the wind, while dark energy accelerates the expansion of a universe that, according to some, wipes out the traces of its own origins. He introduces the first chapter with the concept of asystasy, or a lack of systematicity, and its irrepressibility, describing a bit of the history of Brownian motion, and that the ontological question of noise goes back at least to Epicurus and Democritus. Epicurus allegedly claimed that randomness is objective. It is the proper nature of events, independently of human knowledge, whereas Democritus wrote, Anthropitu hisitholone plasado profasin e disabulis. Wait a minute, why? I didn't know this was going to be one of those papers. Men have made an idol of chance as an excuse for their own incompetence. So he helpfully summarizes the different uses of the term entropy and what they basically have in common. Writing that starting from its roots in the field of thermodynamics, entropy has been described as the number of microscopic degrees of freedom in statistical mechanics, the measure of information in information theory, the opposite of information in cybernetics, the length of the shortest algorithm that specifies the system's exact state in algorithmic information theory, or in the case of systems theory, the tendency for a system's output to decline when the inputs have remained the same. All these fields fall under the umbrella of objective, physical, or frequential probability. They are associated with the study of random physical systems and the measure of the real physical tendency of something to take place. So no wonder there is so much confusion about the meaning of entropy. Anyway, I'm going to do that magical chain smoking technique that I learned about last month and stop the video here.